Hello, and happy holidays to you. My name's Eric Prosher, and I'm here with a special guest. Her name's Michelle Langlois, and we're both from Jesse Brown VA Medical Center. Over the next 25 minutes or so, we're going to be talking about suicide prevention and coping strategies for the holiday. So happy holidays to everyone out there, and thank you, Michelle, for coming back to share some knowledge and let us know what you're up to at Jesse Brown VA Medical Center working with veterans over the holidays.
Thanks for having me here, Eric. So the holidays are...
So let's back up a couple steps. Let us know what your role is at Jesse Brown VA Medical Center, located on 820 South Damon Avenue. And you are one of the suicide prevention coordinators?
Correct.
So why don't you first tell us a little bit about your role and what is that our veterans can expect from you?
Every VA has a suicide prevention team, and at Jesse Brown VA we have 6 suicide prevention coordinators at the Jesse Brown VA. We also have them at our local CBOC clinics within the suburbs and also in Northwest Indiana. We do certain things in the sense of we will monitor veterans that we've identified as higher risk for suicide. We will follow up with people who call the Veterans Crisis Line to try to make sure we get them connected to local resources.
I'm going to pause you there. So the Veteran Crisis Line is, tell us a little bit about that.
So the Veterans Crisis Line is a line where you can call, text, or do instant messaging. It is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have an 800 number with a team from the VA who will answer these calls immediately. Those locations are in Atlanta, Topeka, Kansas, and upstate New York. Once they take care of that call, then they ask if they want to be referred to the local suicide prevention program. And at that time, then we are notified, and then we will follow up with that veteran the next business day in order to try to get them connected to what resources they might need to help with their crisis.
And those of you that maybe didn't read that flyer, the number is 1-800-273-8255. Now, if you're a veteran, you can press 1 and you'll be connected to veteran-centric resources. But this number is for everyone. So if you have a friend that's not a veteran, a civilian, they can also use this crisis line. So, all right. So the crisis line plays a big role in some of the work that you do?
Yes, the crisis line is quite a bit of work that we do. We definitely have people who call for lots of different crises. Can be suicide, but it could also be that they can't get their utilities paid, so it might be that they can't meet their basic needs. And so there's lots of resources, not just with the VA, but in the community that we can provide some assistance with. And also we know that the holidays are coming up, and that can be a very stressful time for people.
And that's why we're here, folks.
Yeah, so we might have more calls during this time of year because people might be really struggling with the holidays. The holidays can really trigger some people. Some reasons why might be because they are maybe missing some folks that are no longer with them. That can be very especially difficult for some veterans who might be lost some buddies during their time served in the military. That can also increase some guilt feelings for some of our veterans, kind of losing people that they served with. It also can be very difficult to kind of see where you're at in life and maybe, looking at the new year, not feeling that you have met certain goals or where you should be at a place in your life. So that can be really kind of challenging at the end of the year that people kind of start kind of struggling with. Other things might be there's a lot of crowds around town, if you will, during
shopping,
the holiday season.
the malls, the stores,
and crowds can really trigger some veterans. So having like that kind of increase of people in certain areas can be really, really triggering for some folks. And people don't always feel like they fit into the civilian world, even if they just got discharged from didn't get just discharged from the military. Sometimes it's still kind of a difficult challenge to kind of get back into the civilian world and kind of relate to your civilian peers or family members. So
sure. So you might have some suggestions for veterans that are coping with isolation during the holiday times, but let's see a clip of a veteran talking about some of their struggles connected to these issues. Does that sound like
it's very common for a lot of people to
Okay.
to isolate. And so here's a clip from maketheconnection.net, which is a phenomenal resource. But we want to take care of this clip and see kind of how isolation can
Here's an important analogy. You watch any animal that's hurt. What does it do? It withdraws. And the animals have a trust in existence that they either get better or they die, you know? So it's real normal to withdraw.
I'm a pretty extroverted, amicable person, but I didn't want anything to do with anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just sat in my room and drank all the time.
You see yourself like kind of withdrawing a little bit, or looking at somebody that you used to spend every day with and loved every minute of every day with. If you start looking at them differently, or feeling any kind of resentment or annoyance or anything like this, that's one way you can know that there's something going on.
My life just was slowly shrinking. If I went golfing, I went golfing alone. The things that I like to do, hunting, I just didn't want to do anymore. I didn't really want to do much of anything anymore.
I felt like people were looking at me like I was strange, like something was off. And I don't know if it was something personal that was going on inside of me, but I just started to feel really isolated.
I call it a bubble. It happens when you get back, and it happens when you're injured. You kind of go into this bubble. It usually consists of home, work, and a select few friends. You don't want to interact with anything outside of that bubble.
The isolation, the withdrawal, when your family doesn't know what to say to you, and family and friends don't know and can't make the connection between what you experienced in the military and how that's manifesting when they interact with you.
It takes another Marine to just, or another somebody that understands you, another person's been there to just slap you and be like, hey, get out of that room, stop drinking, let's go out and do something. If it weren't for my friends taking me out and pulling me out of that room and making me go do stuff, I don't know how bad it would have gotten.
Isolation, withdrawal is not going to get you the end result that you need. You want to get back into life. You want to get back enjoying your life, the things that you like to do, and being able to explore new things. So you're going to eventually have to talk to someone and connect with someone.
Isolation is the worst place to be. That's going in the wrong direction. When you isolate and pull yourself away from existence, that's not a path to health. What you need to do is integrate back into existence, and there's programs people want to help.
What benefited me the most was going to the vet center, being in the support groups of combat women veterans and listening to their stories.
You can't isolate yourself. You have to surround yourself with good people that want to see you do better, and you have to take advantage of the programs that have the VA or the nonprofit organizations that are there to help veterans out.
Wow. So looked like there was a variety of veterans talking about their struggles with isolation and disconnection and how they've really overcome some of those challenges.
Absolutely.
And it sounded like some of the isolations for different reasons. Some of them might have been people worried about what people thought of them. Other people might be affected by their mood or depression. But the door through recovery in all those instances seemed like connection with other people and connection with the resources available at the VA. So why don't we talk a little bit about what Jesse Brown VA Medical Center and the suicide prevention team has to offer our veterans.
We have a lot of wonderful resources at the VA, but one thing that we're excited about doing this year is we know that the holidays can be stressful for people. So what we have this year is the December self-care challenge. And so each day there's a specific challenge for the veteran, and also civilians can do this as well, in order to...
So there's a whole calendar of events every day. So
Yep.
I know you probably can't read that at home, but I just wanted to get a big picture of what that might look like. So why don't you tell us about some of those activities of the self-care challenge?
Yeah, so the self-care challenge is a 31-day challenge, and this challenge will allow people to have a different idea of what to do for self-care. When you're feeling kind of down and you want to isolate, that doesn't necessarily give you great ideas in order to kind of help yourself. So some of it's to get out and take a walk with a friend or with a pet. So that would be the challenge for the day. Something might be pack a healthy lunch. We know that nutritional food can actually kind of help with your mood. Some things might be humor is a big coping strategy that I personally like to use. So one is to kind of look at, maybe watch a funny program or read maybe a funny publication. So kind of do something around some humor for the day and kind of help yourself feel better just through laughter. Another thing is to help other people. Do something where you assist another person, because we know that research supports that when you kind of help and serve other people, that actually can make us feel a lot better just with our mood and how we feel about ourselves. And so
many good things. So many
many
good
good-
things. I like this Throwback Thursday. Remind a friend or a colleague about a positive memory you shared together for a quick mood boost. That's
Yeah.
excellent. There looks like other things like make your bed. I'm guilty of just jumping out of the bed and getting out of there.
me as well.
These are cool things that keep someone focused through what might be a challenging month.
Yes. So we're going to have this on our website, and we're going to, try to make sure that we remind everybody what the challenge of the day is through the month, and we hope that can kind of help boost people and kind of get them in a way of kind of doing self-care throughout the month, even though we know it can be challenging for a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially
Now,
veterans.
So remind us of that website again.
The Jesse Brown website.
The Jesse Brown website.
You would have to. I don't know that by heart. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Well, that is. Let me see if I can find it.
So we do have a Facebook page, and so
Yeah.
definitely look up Jesse Brown VA on the Facebook page, and that is definitely a location that we're going to try to have this information. And also, if you do attend the VA, we're going to have these paper handouts at the local clinics, in your primary care clinics, in the mental health clinics, social work, all those kinds of locations, and including the C-Box.
Okay, so here, I don't have a paper for it, but we have a great producer, Valerie Creedon, and the website for our VA is www.chicago.va.gov. That's www.chicago.va.gov. So check us out. We also have a Facebook page that we show clips of videos. We have a cooking kitchen that comes on there and teaches you how to do healthy meals, and that is just VA Chicago on Facebook. There's lots of opportunities. We're just right at the tip of your fingers to get connected. So this is great. Any other holiday coping strategies or tips you might have for us?
Well, we know just the logistics of the holiday itself can be very challenging. And so we do have some suggestions. Some things might be with a budget. Finances can be an issue. So sometimes you feel bad maybe because financially you can't afford certain levels of gifts, but kind of doing some things that are a little bit more kind of thought-provoking rather than financially
Draining.
is a thought. Setting limits with your family, maybe knowing that your family can kind of drink too much and kind of get in some arguments at a certain point in the time of the day, allow yourself to be there maybe for the dinner time and then allow yourself to leave and be okay with that. So kind of setting healthy boundaries with families when something possibly can get out of control. Definitely, don't feel bad about that. Definitely set those boundaries. Certain things might be to watch how much alcohol you are drinking, because we know that there's a lot of alcohol that's going to be around. So if this is something that's a trigger for folks to kind of maybe keep an idea of how much they will, or have kind of tell a buddy that you're with that this is kind of your goal, or a family member, so they can kind of work with you to keep yourself in check with that.
And part of why we are having the show is like some of these things require some planning ahead, some
Yes.
proper planning. So having a response ready or having an alternative beverage available is going to help you get through these difficult or challenging moments. That they're just know that they're all time limited. You'll get through them, but if you think it through and plan it out ahead of time, it makes it much smoother when the time comes.
Yes. And also, one thing I'd like to mention is that in addition to the holidays, people can start becoming a little bit more down, a little bit more depressed, just because of the season changes. We know that it's definitely gotten
There's
a lot
no light.
colder.
It's
There's
Chicago.
a lot less light.
It's cold.
That can affect people's moods. And so we know that winter and the change of seasons can really affect people who maybe really not feeling depressed, can really struggle through the winter months. So you have that on top of the holiday piece as well. So kind of keep an eye out on your mood. Is your appetite changed? Is your sleeping increased or changed? Do you have really low energy and motivation? These might be signs of seasonal affective disorder, where you are affected more so in the winter months, and you're productivity can suffer, and just your overall well-being can suffer. So we really encourage people to, even if the holidays aren't a trigger, but just knowing that your mood changes in these months, to do this self-care challenge. Kind of maybe do that as a routine and get that started in December. Do what you can. And if for some reason, sometimes the seasonal affective disorder can worsen and people can start developing more serious symptoms where they're not able to function. They're not able to maybe go into work. They're missing work days. They're starting to develop suicidal thoughts. We know that this can turn into and worsen sometimes during this time of year. So pay attention to yourself and kind of where your mood is at, where your appetite, your energy, your sleep is, and see if you're starting to have any kind of thoughts of suicide or fleeting thoughts of suicide. And we have wonderful resources to use at the VA if you start seeing a slippery slope.
That's right. And don't forget, we do have the crisis line. So it's 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 if you're a veteran.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful resource. And if you're struggling and you call them in the moment, then my team will do a follow-up call, and then we can get you
It's already at 2.
get your care. We can get you a same-day appointment, so there doesn't even have to be a delay in getting care. When you're ready to come in, we can get you same-day appointments, and that's phenomenal. And there's lots of things we can do for seasonal affective disorder, including light boxes, because we know that lack of light.
Light boxes are cool. My wife picked up one last
Yeah.
season, and it's done wonders for her mood.
Yeah, there's lots of creative things that we can do to kind of help people through this time of year, the season, and also the holidays. And so,
Charging the body, getting it moving. It's
yeah,
really
absolutely.
important.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely pay attention to your mood. Know there's a lot of resources at the VA, and try to, give yourself a little slack during the holidays. Maybe have not very high expectations in the sense of kind of let things kind of slide off. Things don't have to be perfect. That's okay. Kind of give yourself a break. Use your support system. Use people you do, feel connected to during the holidays for some support if you're struggling with it. Use the crisis line. Get connected to treatment. Like I said, eating healthy, exercising, all those things can be really helpful this time of year as some regular coping strategies to kind of help with the holidays.
All right, these are really good tips. Really good tips for the holiday. We have some. So if somebody was interested in learning more about what you can provide at the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center, what's a good way to get in touch with you?
With me personally, you can contact me our whole suicide prevention program is at Jesse Brown. We do have, like I said, folks that are designated at the CBOC. So if you're at the CBOC, then you can use, let your primary care know, and they can tell you who that suicide prevention coordinator is at Jesse Brown. You can contact me personally if you have any other additional questions or anything that you might need or want to know more about our self-care challenge. My direct number is 312-569-8009. That's 312-569-8009, and I'm available Monday through Friday during business hours.
All right. Well, I'm really happy that you could come on the show and share with us all that knowledge and resources you have available. And is there anything else that you'd like to share before we move to the next segment of the show?
No, I am very, very glad and happy to be here. I definitely would encourage people to utilize this crisis line, even if you're not feeling suicidal, it's not that bad. We want people, and I can't stress this enough, we want people to call in before their crisis gets so bad that they're starting to have suicidal thoughts. A lot of people will misunderstand that they have to be suicidal to call this crisis line. It's for any kind of crisis, like I mentioned earlier. And we want people, if you start seeing this kind of slippery slope that we talked about, you know that historically the holidays or the winter months are difficult for you. Pay attention to these things. Use that crisis line as you need it so it doesn't get too bad for you this holiday season and the winter months. So I would encourage you to actively utilize that. Other resources that you can use as well. That we played this wonderful video earlier about isolation, which is difficult for some veterans, and they will isolate and withdraw sometimes when they come back into civilian world. But they have other wonderful videos that I always like to point out. This resource is called the Make the Connection, all one word, .net. And there's 700 videos that are on that resource, Dr. Brosher,
Okay.
that veterans can actually itemize this specifically to their time of service, what their gender is, what symptoms they might be struggling with, so they can watch other videos of veterans that might have similar things that they've struggled with, and also kind of how they recovered and how they got well. And it's to show a sign of hope and recovery, and that they're not alone, that a lot of symptoms, a lot of veterans suffer in silence that they think only they're dealing with. They'll find out that a lot of veterans are dealing with it. So
That's right.
yeah, so it's a wonderful resource as well. So I encourage any veteran and any family member also, there's videos for families on there, and clinicians to go on this website and kind of check it out. There's
Make the connection.
maketheconnection.net. And they have a lot of people from Chicago. They actually, a handful of these veterans are actually from Chicago who participated in this. And so it's a really
Excellent.
wonderful resource. I'd like to emphasize and encourage people to try it out.
Okay. So the next segment of the show, I will ask the guests a series of questions. We call it rapid fire, and they're going to be, some are going to be related to suicide prevention, mental health, holidays, and some are just going to be not related. And you're going to just share in a free associative manner the first thing comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay? So, what is your favorite healthy food
Guacamole.
and why?
It just tastes really good.
Okay, okay. And what is your least favorite reindeer?
Oh, probably Dasher, and I can't
Dasher?
tell you why.
You can't
Just
tell?
came to
Just
mind.
Dasher?
Yeah,
Okay.
just Dasher.
What would constitute a perfect day for you?
Perfect day?
Yeah.
Laying on the beach.
Just laying on the beach
The whole day.
the whole day.
And relaxing. Reading a
Okay.
book, maybe.
Okay, great. That's a good choice. Relaxing on the beach, especially during this time of
Oh, yeah.
year in Chicago. So, given a choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest to share a healthy meal?
Alive or not alive?
Doesn't matter.
Einstein.
Einstein. Okay, why?
Just brilliant, interesting person.
Okay, a brilliant, interesting person. What in life do you feel most grateful?
My family.
Family. All right. And if you, what is the least favorite job you've ever had?
My least favorite job was
Uh-huh.
probably working at a meat market, an actual meat market, not a bar.
Oh, okay.
And that was.
What did you do there? You sold meat?
I was a clerk, but
You're a clerk?
they did the meat there, and
Oh, okay.
it was an interesting job. But
Why was that not fun?
it was actually a lot of hard work.
Okay.
And I learned to actually like it.
Okay.
But it was a job in college. But
Okay. Next question.
Yes.
What is a secret talent you have that no one knows about?
a secret talent that
Uh-huh.
I have that nobody knows about. I'm a very good baker.
You're a good baker. All right. So you have some baking talents. That's right. I've tasted some of them.
Yeah, see.
And I can attest to that. So, if you could be any superhero, what superhero would you be?
Probably Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
All right. And if you could have one of the superpowers of Wonder Woman or any other hero, what superpower would that be?
Maybe the truth lasso.
The truth lasso. So for those of you that might not be aware, Wonder Woman would throw this golden lasso around you, and then that would compel you to share the truth.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Very telling. So, next question. What do you value most in a friendship?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Okay. Okay. And complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share blank.
Oh, that's a hard one. I wish I had have someone to share. A Coke?
A Coke? A Coke and a smile?
Coke and a smile.
Oh man, we're really affected by those commercials from the
advertising,
70s
it gets you
and
every
80s.
time, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, if we had a crystal ball, could you tell you the truth about your health and the future? What would you want to know?
I wouldn't want to know.
You wouldn't want to know?
I wouldn't want to know. No, I
Okay.
think that not knowing kind of gives you some peace of mind on some level with that. But I would also try to take good care of my health overall.
Okay. So name 3 things you and your veterans have in common. And this will be our last question. We'll wrap it up.
3 things me and my veterans have in common. Hopefully they all like coming to the VA because I love working with veterans and coming to the VA. Veterans really are phenomenal with helping each other out, and I really enjoy helping out veterans as well. And I think pretty much all the veterans I work with are just truly good people, and I hope that they consider me a good person as well.
Great. Well, you nailed it. Bullseye. Rapid fire. You got all your shots within a nice concentrated area. And again, I wanted to thank you, Michelle Langlois from Jesse Brown VA Medical Center. I'm Eric Prosher, and we'd like to thank you for watching CAN TV 21. And please tune in next month when we'll be back on for veterans issues. And please stay tuned for the following next 5 minutes to see your next show. Thank you and goodbye.